Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a video that used to be a pretty classic trend on K-pop YouTube, but recently I haven't seen that many of these videos around. And what I'm talking about is reacting to your unpopular K-pop opinions. Now, I know a majority of people who follow this channel probably never saw a form where you could submit your unpopular opinions, and that's because since I didn't want to sift through like thousands and thousands of submissions, I ended up only giving the form to my channel members. So I'm sorry that not everybody got the chance to send in a submission, but doing things this way made making this video a whole lot easier, so I hope that you could understand why I did that. And one last final thing before we start the video, I'd like to thank all of our newest channel members: Shiny, Male T, Mizu Molnarovie, Sony, Cassie, Leonie, and Frog Obobo. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and without further ado, let's get into unpopular opinion at number 1. It doesn't matter if K-pop raps are cringy just as long as they hit, and then this person referenced Soyeon's rap in Tomboy specifically. So I think I kind of agree and also kind of disagree with this opinion in different ways. I think a lot of time with K-pop raps, the lyrics just don't really end up making any sense, specifically the English ones. So when K-pop rappers use English lyrics that don't really end up making sense or wouldn't be used with the other English words around it in regular sentences, it definitely comes off as cringy to a lot of people, and honestly I think I'm kind of in that boat as well. But then OP is saying it doesn't matter if the lyrics are cringy as long as it hits, and I think they're specifically referring to the rapper's flow, saying like as long as their flow is good, it doesn't really matter what they're saying. And I do think I agree with this person's opinion where flow in rap is more important than lyrics. I feel the same way about rap in literally any language, but I do think that in some cases the lyrics can be so bad to the point where the flow can't really save it. But when I say that, I'm not really referring to cringy English lyrics. The bigger problem that I have with a lot of K-pop raps is that so much of the time they just do not rhyme. I feel like rhyme is one of the most simple things that literally anybody can understand when they're making a rap, but somehow, whether it's Korean lyrics or English lyrics, so many K-pop lyricists still do not understand rhyme, it feels like. I don't know, even if I don't understand lyrics because like they're in a different language, it still really breaks up the flow of the song to me if they don't rhyme. So for a lot of K-pop songs that I genuinely do enjoy, it feels like I have to just sit through the rap and get through it, versus like actually enjoying it because these lyrics will not rhyme, like at all. So personally, I can enjoy cringy lyrics as long as they sound good together. The only time that I really will not enjoy a rap at all is if the lyrics can't follow the most simple rule of rap ever. I find it difficult to fully enjoy ITZY's stages sometimes because of Leah's dancing skills. So this is definitely going to be a biased opinion because Leah is actually my bias in ITZY and ITZY is my alt girl group. Though I can acknowledge that Leah is by far the weakest dancer in ITZY, I genuinely do not believe that she's that far behind any of the other members, and I do think she can hold her own when it comes to dancing and performing in their stages. Personally, what I think is happening is that so many people have already hounded on Leah because of her dancing skills that so many people start to fixate on her in their performances, and are kind of like waiting to see a moment where she slips up. Like, what I'm trying to say is that because Leah's dancing skills are such a hot topic among K-pop stans, people will remember and take note of every single little slip-up she has, but if it wasn't such a huge topic of discussion when it comes to ITZY, then people wouldn't even really notice. I feel like if you took someone who wasn't into K-pop, showed them an ITZY stage, and then asked them afterwards if they noticed anything wrong with their performance, then they probably wouldn't have anything to say. And it's only because K-pop fans have fed so much into this idea that Leah is the quote-unquote weak link of ITZY, that people even notice her weaker dancing at all. I mean, I understand where OP is coming from. Leah is definitely the weakest performer in the group. But personally, I don't think she's as bad as so many people make her out to be. And honestly, if she wasn't in ITZY and she was in a different group, she would probably be one of the stronger performers. And it's only because the other four are so good at dancing that people even notice Leah is weaker at all. The IVE comeback isn't gonna sell as well as 11 or Love Dive. So for this opinion, in terms of physical sales, like people that actually went out and purchased the album to keep on their shelf, I think it's pretty much a guarantee that it's gonna sell more copies than both 11 and Love Dive. Those two releases gave IVE so much momentum where I would genuinely be shocked if their sales did not increase this time. However, I wouldn't be surprised if this comeback underperforms in a lot of other areas. I consider myself a pretty big IVE follower, so I've been keeping up with all of the promotional footage that they've released so far, and sadly, I would be lying if I said that I was as excited for this comeback as I was for 11 or Love Dive. And that's because this comeback doesn't really seem as unique compared to other girl groups than their previous two songs. I feel like the past two releases had really good promotional periods because everything that they put out was just so different from what I've seen before. And sure, you might have been able to make a comparison here or there to a different group, but they weren't really as obvious as it is this time. Because for this August comeback, whether it's the teaser photos or the concept film, a lot of IVE's promotional content this time around has reminded me of the groups Weki and Loona. I'm not trying to throw around any like plagiarism accusations or anything like that, because it would be pretty ridiculous to accuse a group of plagiarism just for doing the same concept as a different one. I just feel like because I've seen similar concepts to what IVE's doing this time before, I wouldn't be surprised if this comeback doesn't interest as many people as their previous two songs. To explain what I'm saying a little bit more in terms of these comparisons between these different groups, let me just show a few examples of why I think this IVE comeback isn't going to be as unique as their previous ones.
사람들에게 틀렸다고 말해줄 거야. 우리가 그대로인 걸 보여줄 거야. 그러지 않길 바래. I am me.
Again, don't think I'm trying to accuse anybody of plagiarism because that's not what I want to do. I'm just saying that a lot of people might see what kind of concept that IVE is trying to do and realize that they've kind of seen this before, so they might not be as inclined to like dedicate their time to this comeback, and I feel like there won't be as many people talking about it online. So though I still think that it's going to be wildly successful because they are one of the biggest girl groups around right now, I think it might not do quite as well as their first two title tracks because it doesn't have the same like oomph to them. But that's just a prediction, the comeback hasn't even dropped yet, so I could turn out to be totally wrong, so we'll just have to wait and see. KARD is slowly fading away and their music has gone down a notch. So I was actually really surprised to see this opinion because I definitely do not agree at all. For those of you who don't know, KARD is a co-ed group that consists of 2 male and 2 female members, and recently, since one of the male members had to do their mandatory enlistment, they had to go on like an almost 2-year-long hiatus. And last month, they finally had a comeback with their song Ring the Alarm. And I'm surprised that people think their music has gone down a notch because I feel like this is one of their best releases yet. I will admit that at first I thought Ring the Alarm was pretty underwhelming, and I thought that after such a long hiatus, they should have came back with a song with a bit more of a bang. However, after listening to it again for a few times, this is genuinely one of their best title tracks, if not their actual best. Although the tropical house genre is a little bit outdated and doesn't really bring anything new to the table, Ring the Alarm was somehow able to be better than all of the other tropical house title tracks that they've done before. I don't know, something about it is so easy to listen to, and is actually something that I'd go out of my way to put on if I was in a relaxed mood. Unlike a lot of other tropical house songs, and honestly a lot of other KARD tropical house songs that feel a little bit boring, Ring the Alarm is honestly just refreshing, and was a great way for the group to return to the music industry. I would also disagree with the idea that KARD is quote-unquote fading away. Ring the Alarm just came out a month ago and it almost has more views than Gunshot already, and it also almost has 6 million streams on Spotify. And that to me doesn't seem like a group that's gonna fade away anytime soon. I honestly couldn't care less about Blackpink's comeback. I don't even know what to say to this. I guess I'm just honestly impressed with this person. Like, if the biggest girl group of all time took a 2-year-long hiatus and then finally announced that they were releasing new music, I would assume that every single K-pop fan in existence would be hyped. I know I am, and I'm surprised that anybody else isn't, but whoever sent that in, more power to you, I guess. All I know is that I will be tuning into Pink Venom, and that's all I've got to say, which I guess leads us to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more content from me, consider hitting the subscribe button. Before we go, I'd personally like to shout out all 37 of our channel members: Sonorinth, Opichin ITZY, Jujumin, Wu Twice Tees, Dog, Saiyan Lover, Kukin Love, What's OP, Zeus112, Flo099, Goyangzi, Jackie, AB, ZVH, Che, Ray, Wuyongi, Yin Latte, Jed, Mares, Navi Slay, Soda Scribbles TikTok, Minacor, Alex Toro, WJSN Enjoyer, XEOin, 97th Heaven, Julia, Adrian Wang, Elizabeth Allinger, Shiny, Mail T, Mizu Molnarovie, Sony, Cassie, Leonie, and Frago Bobo. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and without further ado, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.